What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. Guys, we have more Masters of the Universe, Filmation, vintage flavor goodness for you today. Here on a very rainy Friday outside of the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. We're nice and toasty and warm and dry here in our awesome museum. And we have more Masters of the Universe goodness for you. Another awesome offering for your viewing pleasure. We have the Masters of the Universe Stratos Wing Warrior. Remember that figure with the power punch? Just twist his waist. This is a beautiful figure. Stratos is one of the most difficult of the Masters of the Universe figures to kind of find. He's also one of the more rare ones. Very hard to get this guy. When you find this guy in fantastic condition or even mint on package condition, he's expensive. And we're talking about the vintage one. I want to point out, I always throw this disclaimer out. This is made by Super 7. And they're putting out these Masters of the Universe Filmation cartoon like figures. These figures were designed after the Filmation characters to look just like the Filmation characters on Masters of the Universe. We didn't have this in the 1980s as a kid when these toys were first released. The figures didn't look like their cartoon counterparts. And here's a question. Did the cartoon come first or second? Trivia question. Did the Masters of the Universe toy line come first or second after the cartoon? You guys know that? Leave us the answer in the comment section right underneath this video. And we're looking at Stratos, guys. Super 7's doing a fantastic job in resurrecting the Masters of the Universe toy line. This is what we want. We want our figures to look like their counterparts. It has that vintage style flavor from the toys that we had back in the 1980s. Stratos is one of the more popular ones. He comes with a ton of accessories, equipment. There's a staff right here, like a green egg there. Like some type of another staff here behind him. He's got his wings that you clip on. You can see there. His wings you clip onto both arms. When I was a kid, like I said, my cousin for Christmas got all of these guys. And I loved them immediately and wished that I had gotten these guys for Christmas. They're stocky build here. The bright colors. Now these colors are because this is from the Filmation. This Stratos is the Stratos from the cartoon. His colors, are, as you can see, matches those of the one from the cartoon, his cartoon counterpart. Very bright, vibrant colors. The head sculpt, I can't say enough about that head sculpt. Beautifully done. It's on a vintage styled Masters of the Universe card. There's the As Seen on TV logo there. Guys, what do you think of our Masters of the Universe Filmation Stratos, the Wing Warrior? Do you have this guy? Are you looking for this guy? Big Bad Toy Store has all of these beautiful figures. I got this figure. I could not get him in the collector status because the collector status was sold out. So this was a standard a standard, but at the same time, as you can see, everything is fine. The card, everything, nothing's bent, dented, cracked, or anything. So it's fantastic. I'm just spoiled now. They spoiled me with the collector status button where you can just punch that for $2 more. They will box this guy up and find a perfect example, carded example of this figure for you and put him in his own collector case. He's got the rocket pack here on the back. Just a card back here. The vintage ones came with the mini comic book. This one just has a card showing the different stages of this figure, how he appeared. But such this is a 5.5 inch tall figure, and look at the detail on this figure. Beautiful. What I couldn't get back in the 1980s, I'm making up for now in my adulthood. Let's turn this card around. Give you a look at the back of this card here. Blown out shot here of the card. Beautiful card art. And here's that power punch action that all of these beautiful figures come with. Here's the instructions. Twist his waist and he swings back with a punch. This would always would get me, even as a kid. You know, you can't show me all these fantastic figures and not want them. And it drove me crazy. Merman, Skeletor, Hordak, Stratos, She-Ra, Teela. I'm not and guys, how do you feel about the female Master of the Universe figures? I'm not a big fan. I think it's just more of the way that the structure they built the female figures. I've just always been more for the male figures. These, that's just me. I wouldn't have gotten them as a kid. I definitely wouldn't have gotten them as a kid. I don't think my sisters would have gotten this as a kid. I don't think she would have gotten them as a kid neither. Yeah, I never gravitated towards these. Even now, as a collector with a museum, maybe I should. Guys, do you want to see it? If you want to see Teela, She-Ra, or who else got Evil Lyn, or the Shadow Weaver, let me know, and I can add a few to our collection, to our museum collection. Guys, that's how we roll here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. We're here to work for you. We hope everybody's safe and happy during these difficult times. And Buzz off is nice too. Just a cool figure. And I am hooked on these Master of the Universe figures now. I'm trying to complete the collection. There's so many of them, guys. You know, the universe of MOTU figures are vast. So trying to find all these guys. Big Bat Toy Store is definitely my go-to spot though for these figures. For one, the price is fantastic. This is a $20 figure. You know, after shipping and handling, it's more like $25, $26 figure. But and a little bit more if you're doing the collector grade, but well worth it. especially in today's market where a lot of action figures are just extremely expensive. And a vintage Stratos would go for untold hundreds of dollars on the secondary market. If anybody has a vintage Stratos, I would like to know more about that figure in the comments section. Right underneath this video. But we wanted to kind of share Stratos with you today. He's definitely one of my favorites from my Filmation Masters of the Universe collection. They did a fantastic job with Stratos. He looks just like the cartoon version of himself. Fantastic details. Guys, it's just a fun time to be a toy collector. What's new is old again. What's old is new again. You can't lose. If you're a big fan of the He-Man TV show, cartoon show from the 1980s, and you remember having those toys back then, and you don't want to spend a king's ransom on collecting the vintage ones, the Filmation ones offer the same nostalgic vibe that you would get around those vintage He-Man figures that you had back in the day. It works for me. If you don't want to pay, $200, $300, $400, $500, sometimes in some cases more, that's where Super 7 comes in at, and they have done a fantastic job in recreating the flavor and nostalgic aspect of the Masters of the Universe action figure toy line. I'd just like to thank you for hanging out with us today. You know the routine. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And keep collecting.